Um, Manager of reliability assessments at a national grid watchdog says that, and I quote, we're seeing the grid operating at the outer limits of its capabilities. So, folks, we're in uncharted territory. Should be no big surprise to anyone that's paying attention. And the extreme weather events aren't over yet, as we're in hurricane season. It's in full swing. We're seeing them hit us left and right, and increasingly hotter days are predicted for years to come, as I said before.
But
So,
so if you're going, you're leaving the whole, because you just sort of said that we've implemented a whole bunch of like solar panels or wind turbines. Is there any one part of the country that's doing this more than others, or is you're just saying in general as a nation? Because we're talking about America, right? Or we're not even talking about global, right? We're just talking about what the U.S. is
in
doing.
this scenario, it's well, I mean, everywhere is doing it, and there are states in the U.S. that do have renewable solar farms and wind farms. Like we do have it. I wouldn't say it's a standard, and I'd almost say go so far as to say it's the states that are doing it. It's kind of like a dirty secret, and that it goes against their political ideology, and they don't want to make too big of a deal out of it. But there are states. I don't have them offhand, but when I was reading the article, they do have these things. They do exist in this country. They're by no way as prevalent as they could or should be. We went over this before, where I think renewables were at a 12% hit, 12%, which is an increase. And while it is helping to prop up our energy grid, it is doing nothing to cut carbon emissions. Or I should say, if it did, it still didn't reduce it to the point where we didn't reduce the total amount of carbon emissions. We went over this last time. Carbon emissions actually were up by almost 1%, and we're supposed to be cutting it by 50%. So we are doing
That's because we burn
renewables.
trash because trash is also renewable, right? So they if you're going to get away with these loopholes, right?
Yeah,
That's stuff that
Florida's great at
we
burning
talked
its
about. Yeah.
trash. It qualifies as renewables. They actually sell that as credits to corporations to offset their dirty operations, so they don't have to change anything. When really we're just pumping more carbon into the atmosphere and polluting neighboring communities, which happen to be minorities more often than not. So there are layers to this onion, but that is where we are with the electrical grid.